Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE. I hope that you're all doing well today. I am showing you today a card that I made using the new Concord 9th Oh Snap bundle. This is such a fun bundle that is in our current release right now from Concord 9th, and they are donating, I believe it's 50% of the proceeds from these sets to coronavirus relief. So if you're interested, I'll definitely have the link down below. There's a lot of great stuff in this bundle. What I'm using today is going to be this cute little Polaroid camera and the Polaroid pictures that come out. I'm also using the Trinity Stitch Slimline dies, and I'm only going to use the two on the outside, as you can see there. I cut one from a piece of Simon Hurley Creates Dark White cardstock, and the other is from a piece of Fawn cardstock that I actually had in my stash, and I looked for it to post it below and I could not find it available anymore. I believe it was a Christmas pattern several years ago. So I'm also going to be using the Concord 9th Lots to Say, which is that smaller set, and I thought I was going to use that larger Concord 9th set, but I actually did not end up using it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and stamp out my camera and the three pictures. So my idea for this was to have the camera at the top, have a picture coming out of it, and then have a couple more Polaroids falling down below. If you're not familiar with a Polaroid camera, sometimes you could take a picture and pull that one out and then take another one, so you could kind of do them quickly if you wanted, and then just set them aside and they would all start to develop. And so I wanted to kind of give that feel that you were just taking a bunch of pictures and they were kind of dropping out. I also decided to use some acetate, because one of the things that I remember most about Polaroid pictures was that they were very shiny when they would develop. And so I wanted to use some heat-resistant acetate to create the inside of the pictures. So I'm just stamping out the camera, and I'm going to actually end up using 3 of the little Polaroids, and I'm using Gina K Amalgam Black ink to do this because I am going to do some Copic coloring off camera. It was just very quick coloring. I basically used the C markers. Excuse me. I used C3, C1, C5, and a little bit of C7. So what I'm showing you here is in the die set, there is a square die that will cut out the center of those Polaroid pictures, which is great. So I just cut the inside out, and then I fussy cut out around the Polaroid picture, and I'm just going in with a black marker and just covering up some of those lines. And I'm going to do this for all 3. And there you can see. And one of the great things about this set is it actually comes with a die that I'm adding now that will cut out where the Polaroid pictures would come out. So when I put this card together, my cards are going to be stationary, but you could do this as an interactive card where the recipient can actually pull out the Polaroid picture, which I'm going to show you here in just a moment. So there's a lot of really cool fun things that you can do with this set. It's so nostalgic. My grandparents had a blue Polaroid camera, and I almost did it in that blue color, but I decided to keep it with the gray for this one to kind of go with the background. So there you can see you've got the one die that cuts out the little rims so that your Polaroid won't pull through, and then there is the die that'll cut out the centers. So now that I have everything die cut, I'm just kind of looking to see exactly how many Polaroids are going to fit on my panel. I thought it would possibly be 3, but I wasn't sure if I could get 4, so that's why I'm just kind of going through and laying everything out just to see exactly what I'm going to need. And 3 is what I'm going to be able to fit. And I decided that I wanted to just put sentiments in each of them. And so I'm going to go through next and start those sentiments. And this is the hot off the press acetate, and this is wonderful. I didn't realize I was running so low. I'm gonna have to order some more, but you can heat emboss on this, and you still need to get your heat gun very hot, but it will not warp the acetate, which is really nice. It's designed to take the heat. As opposed to trying to heat emboss on regular acetate where it'll sometimes melt and curl up. This one will not do that. So I am going through and I'm adding my sentiments into my MISTI, and I will tell you one tip. It is difficult to do this with a block, with a acrylic block, because when you put it down it's slippery, so it's going to tend to slide. So this is easier to do if you have some type of stamp positioning tool. So I'm using my anti-static powder bag just as I would if I was doing any type of regular heat embossing, and I'm laying down 3 different sentiments. Unfortunately, the only one I'm going to be able to use is going to be the one in the middle that says "You are gorgeous." The first one is from the stamp set, the Polaroid stamp set, but it has a friend part in it that's a different font and cut out almost like in a rectangle, and that didn't heat emboss where you were able to read it, so I wasn't able to use it. And then the one on the end you're going to see here, I'm going to use a lighter greenish, like almost seafoam green color embossing powder, and when I heat emboss it, it's going to almost make it where it's clear, so that one's not going to work either. So there I've realized I really like the embossing powder color, and I've realized that I'm not going to be able to use that one, so I decided to go ahead and use the same powder on the center one so I could use that same color. And there you can see that green is gorgeous, but see what happens when I heat emboss it, it completely almost disappears into clear. So one of the things that I will tell you is use a darker embossing powder when you're using this acetate. So I'm going to end up using the blue, which is a Ranger light blue color. I'm going to use Lawn Fawn Silver, and I'm also going to use Alabaster. I saved the inside pieces of the Polaroids, and I'm using 3 different distress oxides. I'm using Cracked Pistachio, Tumbled Glass, and Pumice Stone. And I'm using those so I can put that as a background behind my pictures. So almost as if you were taking a picture of these sentiments that were on a wall somewhere. So I wanted them to have some type of colored background. And I am using my Nuvo blending brushes to do that as well. So now I'm going to add the acetate, and I'm just using a tape runner and adding tape on all 4 sides of the little Polaroid. And then I'm going to put my acetate on and piece on and just cut around it. And I'll show you the trick I'm going to use to add the backing squares. And this is one thing when you're crafting, if it's not something anybody is going to see, take the easy route. Because I was kind of trying to figure out, because those little squares fit exactly in that picture, that Polaroid picture, and I also, because I have acetate, I can't use an adhesive that would show through. So what I decided to do, because these were going to be adhered down, and there you can see the Hello Gorgeous, and I'm going to switch that, and I'm going to end up putting the Hello Gorgeous on the Pumice Stone background. There's how they're going to be laid out. So what I'm going to do to get those on is I'm just going to take a small piece of purple tape, and if you had a small piece of washi tape, scotch tape, whatever you had handy, and I felt like that would be the easiest way to adhere these on, and you're not going to see it. It doesn't matter that the purple tape's there, because they're going to be adhered flat down onto the card panel. So I'm sure there are other ways that you could do it that didn't involve tape on the back of it like that, but for me, whatever's the most simple, and like I said, you're not going to be able to see it anyway, so it really didn't matter. So I'm just cleaning up some of that Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere down my camera. I did decide to use the Smile that's heat embossed in white for the photo that's actually coming out of the camera at the time. And You're the Best Ever is the one that I heat embossed in silver, and it's actually on the tumbled glass background. And then the You Are Gorgeous, which is that Ranger light blue embossing powder, is going to be on the Pumice Stone. So I am using a tape runner. This is the Thermoweb tape runner to add my piece of Lawn Fawn paper down. I love this paper. I'm pretty sure it was a Christmas paper that came out, and I really wish I could find it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I just wasn't able to locate it. I went to the Lawn Fawn site and couldn't find it on there either, but it is, if you have it in your stash, it's a great piece of paper. This happened to be a 12 by 12 that I had. So as I told you before, I decided that I wanted to have the picture coming completely out, and it's still nice to have that little stopper, because even though I'm adhering it down, it's going to keep it in as part of the camera. So that was nice. I didn't have to worry about it coming apart. And I could have chose to not tape down the Polaroid, and the recipient could have slid it out, but I thought it would kind of look strange with the other two pictures falling, so I just decided to pull it out as well. And there you can see, and you've got that shiny like the Polaroid camera pictures had, which I just love. The next one I'm going to add on is the You're the Best Ever, and I should have not pushed down the bottom part of the smile Polaroid picture yet, because I want to put this one up under it. So I'm just going to take some tweezers, and you would think that I would have learned from that one not to push down the next one, but no, I didn't. So I'm going to have to use the tweezers again when I add in the You Are Gorgeous. I'm just tucking that up under. One of the things I would say, if I did this card again, I would probably add another Polaroid picture to the back of each one, just to reinforce them a little bit, especially with kind of putting some underneath each other. So if you recreate this card, that's a little tip. I am going to take some Nuvo, the Crystal Glaze, and add it to parts of the camera. And what I'm showing you here, it's not completely dry yet, so it still looks kind of milky, but in the pictures you'll be able to see when it dries. I just love this card. I thought it was so fun. This set, there's so many things you can do with it, and it just brings back so many memories for so many of us who used Polaroid cameras back in the day. So thank you so much for joining me. Please stay healthy and stay safe. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, I hope that you'll consider subscribing. Thank you so much and have a great day.